Hey YouTube, this is Rasmus Park Fan 62. Here is my full review of WWE's Clash in Paris. Now, I want to say this first before I get this out of the way. While Clash in Paris may be a B pay-per-view, it certainly was one of the better shows. The crowd was hot throughout the whole show. Um, and it shows why the European crowds are typically a lot better than the American ones. Look at stuff like Backlash in Lyon, France last year, etc. So let's get started. The first match on the show was Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. Now, this match was good because it showed the power of both individuals. Now, with that being said, more of this was the after part. So, this apparently was Braun and Bronson destroying Roman to write him off television for about a month, I think, for a movie he's filming. So, it was a good way to write it off. Next was the Wyatts versus the Street Profits. Now, the cool thing about this was the Street Profits came out in as like a superhero mask, which lit up and everything, which was actually quite cool, and the crowd really got into it with their entrance. And then with the Wyatts, the crowd really got into their entrance as well. They were singing Shatter. Shatter was like a more sped up version, I think. So it really didn't have like that full effect, but it still, for what it was really great. The Wyatts recently have been gaining a lot of momentum with their insane match at SummerSlam in that 6-team TLC match, to this match, to their house that just opened at Universal for Halloween Horror Nights. So they've been getting a lot of momentum recently. With this match in particular, it was good. It wasn't too long, but it showed how well they can work together. And you don't need to have Bo Dallas or Uncle Howdy in with everything. It shows how good Joey Gacy and them can work with each other. One of the cool things I like about this group in particular was, I believe it was on, I can't remember if it was SmackDown or Clash in Paris, a promo they did where each of them were able to speak longer than a few seconds, including Nikki Cross. So that was pretty good. Now we come to Nikki Bella versus Becky Lynch. This match in particular wasn't the best. I'm sure you've all probably seen that botch Nikki tried to do. The problem is Becky Lynch has been gaining a lot of momentum recently. And Nikki Bella just came back recently, so she really hasn't had that much under her belt. Plus, the only time she's wrestled in the past up to recently was stuff like the Rumble. So, but Nikki did as good of a job as she could. Next is Rusev versus Sheamus in a Donnybrook match. Now, with this match in particular was good because while it was like a weapons match, so to speak, it was cool because you had different types. One of the cool visuals of this match was Rusev doing an accolade on top of a barrel to Sheamus. supposedly, someone gave it 5 stars. So next we have the main event, which is CM Punk versus Jey Uso versus LA Knight versus Seth Rollins. Okay, now this one was interesting because everybody was going at it with each other. It showed with them in particular that certain mistakes that have happened over the past couple of weeks was took for granted, and they took it as personal. So one of the cool features was, I forgot who it was, pushing LA Knight into a table, CM Punk getting a lot of abuse and all of that. One of the things that's at the end of the match was, as Punk was going to go a GTS to, I believe it was Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch came in a hoodie and low blowed him. And this was setting up for something to come for SmackDown on Friday, going into WrestlePalooza in a couple of weeks. So we have to see how that will turn out.